It's a beautiful Friday evening, and we're about a week away from Halloween. And my wife and I are going to start talking about one of our favorite series, which is Harry Potter.
Yep.
And I think I want to start with Abby's journey with the franchise because she was a fan before I was. So, um, go ahead.
Well, like most people, when Harry Potter first came out, I was in elementary school and the hype was real, but I didn't actually read the first book, until fifth grade, and it was my teacher's book actually. Fifth grade, I, without dwelling too much into the negative, I was bullied a lot. And it was so bad that I would hide from some of my classmates because it would just, it was bad. So I didn't really have friends in fifth grade, and my teacher kind of took pity on me and showed me this Harry Potter book on his shelf and said I could read it and that I should because it's good. So I did. I read it so fast. I was so obsessed.
And this was Sorcerer's Stone?
Yes, Sorcerer's Stone. There's a little paperback copy of that.
Which is the one that I want to focus on talking about the most today because that's the one we're getting ready to read. So, did you, when you read that book that your teacher, you said,
Yeah.
introduced you to, how many books, was it just the one that was out at that time?
I don't remember, but that was the one that he had. And I pulled a Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and he was like, if you like it that much, keep it.
It's yours.
It's yours. So that was my first Harry Potter book, and I loved it, and I read it over and over and over again.
And you were in the fifth grade?
Yes.
Okay. So, now when the first movie comes out, which is in the year 2001, I can tell you that I was not really interested in Harry Potter. I was aware of it. But I was, and now I still to this day have never read Lord of the Rings, which maybe that's a future thing that we can do together. I've read The Hobbit, and I love the Lord of the Rings films. And when Fellowship of the Ring came out, same year as Sorcerer's Stone. And so did you go to the theaters to see, really actually, did you go, I'm curious if you saw Fellowship and Sorcerer's Stone in theaters or if you waited, like what was your first experience with those movies, but specifically Sorcerer's Stone?
Well, I didn't see Harry Potter in theaters until like probably the third movie, if I recall correctly.
2004.
Yeah, and I saw all of the Lord of the Rings. I was very fortunate to have seen them when they came out in theaters because it was such an epic movie that my whole family went to go see it, and it was this big deal. So, yeah.
So, since you didn't see the first Harry Potter movie in theaters, did you rent it from... Because, like, for me, I'll just go ahead and tell you, my first experience with this film was... I guess it would have been the following summer because the movie came out in December. So it would have been like, for me, the summer between my freshman and sophomore year of high school, I want to say. And I was at a Hollywood Video. Remember those kids? And because that was the thing for me on Friday nights. I just loved going to the Hollywood Video or the local mom and pop video store and renting movies for the weekend. It was just something I loved doing as a kid. And so one Friday I'm pretty sure it was summertime, I saw Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and I was like, I'll check this out. And I remember I watched it and I was like, it's alright. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad, but I was like, that was cool. And I'll get more into like, because obviously I became a fan later on, but that was my first. So I just want to hear now yours. Like, was it because obviously you, at this point, you had already at least read the first book. Had you read, because I think when the first movie came out, the first 4 books were already out, correct?
I think so.
So
My memory regarding movie releases and dates, as you know, is not reliable.
yeah, you might not remember as much as me, and that's fine. But I just wanted to know, because for me that was the first. And so okay, so the first book you were introduced to by your teacher. Now I want to also ask you if you know the original title for this book and film is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, whereas in the United States is the Sorcerer's Stone. Do you know why that is? I don't have the definitions here in front of me, but do you know why? Like, if you don't, it's cool. I was just curious because
I actually don't know the answer, and that's okay. We'll find out. But I guess I always assumed it was just a cultural language difference, you know, how they have a different way of saying everything that we do, and vice versa. But I don't, and I will look into that for our next video.
So do you know if in the original version, did they film these scenes twice, and anytime they said Philosopher's Stone, they had to re-record it? And I'm just curious about that. We'll have to look into that.
They might, yeah.
So after I saw the first film, the second movie came out, and again, like, it came out in theaters, and I just didn't care. I went to see Two Towers, and then the following summer, once again, I was visiting my grandparents in Texas, and I was there mostly to help my grandfather build a rock wall. And there wasn't a whole lot to do for entertainment, like there was no video games and stuff like that. But there were a bunch of books because my grandparents read a lot.
Heck yeah.
And and also they had some movies, but not a lot. But they had the first 2 Harry Potter movies because that's what was out at the time. So at night I watched the second movie because I had already seen the first one, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. So I watched it again, and I was like, man, I really like this movie. I want to see what happens next. And they had the books, and at this point it was only the first 4 books that were out, I remember, and they had them there. And so I just, you know, like I said, I was building the rock wall during the day, and at night I would read these Harry Potter books, and I got I finished the first 2, and I got somewhere in the middle of the 3rd book before I came back home, and then my grandparents let me borrow the 3rd and 4th books at that point. And so it became, after my grandparents passed away, the one thing that I said I wanted to keep was the books, because those Harry Potter books were special. And it's just cool because their names are, they got the little sticky note with their names on it, so it's just a little reminder of, you know,
That's beautiful.
my grandparents and how I was introduced to this this amazing series, in my opinion. So that's that's where my introduction to the series came. And so then after that, a couple of things I want to touch on. I did get into the Harry Potter books on tape because I've read all 7 books at least once, and some of them I've read 2 or 3 times. I can't remember which ones. Like, I think the first one, this will be my 3rd time reading it through. And I just thought the books on tape, which I know you said recently, what was that thing you tried out? Audible, yeah. So and that's pretty much like books on tape, right?
I hear that it's supposed to, I'm a million years late, but I just started using it because I have a really not rigid schedule because of kids. You have to be flexible, so I thought I need to read. It's not quite the same, so maybe I could catch up on books through audio, and I just couldn't. And it probably has to do with the book, but it was just, I couldn't. And the author or the narrator was doing all the different voices, and it just sounded, it was hard to get into.
What book was this?
It was The Cut by Richard Armitage, and I got into his work because I saw him in The Hobbit, and I became like one of those fans. So I thought, okay, he wrote a book, I'm interested, but it didn't really translate that well to Audible, I think.
Well, I think that the Harry Potter book's on tape. I don't know if you've ever... I think I showed you a couple of the voices he did. So it's this actor from...
Isn't he the actor for Winnie the Pooh? Or
I don't think so. The actor's name is Jim Dale. He's done a bunch of stuff. I know him from Pete's Dragon. He was the villain in that... one of the villains in that movie. And he just did a great book, a great job in those readings that he did. He did like a lot of different voices for all the characters, and I just really liked that. So, and I had all those on my iPod, and it was just funny because it would come on shuffle sometimes when I'd listen with friends, and it'd just be random and funny.
This is just a big time capsule, it feels like. It's
Why? Because I said iPod?
Yeah, you said iPod, you said Hollywood Video, and I'm all up in the 90s here. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been one time through the books and many times through the films. Do you know how many times you've read through the books?
So many, so many. It's one of those series of books that even if I read through all of them, I can find pleasure in rereading it, and it's different every time.
So the plan for us is to read through these books, and we're going to go chapter by chapter. We'll probably break it down. One chapter will be its own video. Hey, buddy. Dog just came up. So we'll do chapter by chapter, and we're going to break it down with the chapter of the book, and then watch the scene or scenes that correlate in the movie, and then just kind of talk about the differences and whatnot. Now, Pottermore, I didn't get too into that, but I know we both at least took the test, and I know for me, the first time I got Ravenclaw, and then I tried it again, and I got Gryffindor, and I think we both agree that I'm Gryffindor, right?
Yes.
And then how about for you?
The first time I took the test, the quiz, I got Hufflepuff, and that was like my identity for a while. And
Hufflepuff!
That should be Hufflepuff. And I thought, yeah, that's it. I'm a Hufflepuff. As silly as that sounds, like this is a real problem. And I took it again years later, and I'm a Ravenclaw, and I took it again, and it says Ravenclaw, so I guess now I'm a Ravenclaw.
All right, so you're Ravenclaw, I'm Gryffindor, and then if we had to label our kids from oldest to youngest, the oldest would be Gryffindor.
Yes.
Next would be Slytherin.
Yes.
Next would be Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff, yes.
And then the last one would also be Slytherin.
Yeah. Our last one is a little spicy girl, so
yeah,
she's got a Slytherin streak.
So, and then you've never been to the Universal, but I went there a few years ago. I think things have changed, but I went on a couple of the rides and got to see the wand store, and it was pretty cool. Had some butterbeer, so it's pretty cool out there.
I can't wait to go. I want to go someday, and I'm going to do the whole experience. My wallet says you're not getting a wand, but
yeah, we'll do it eventually. So, the video games, I played the first two on, I want to say it was the GameCube, and they had it on all the platforms back then for Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. I didn't really play many of the games after that, but I had a lot of fun with those. And then we also have on the Switch not only Lego Harry Potter, all of them, but I think we also have Lego Star Wars, and those Lego games are pretty fun, so we should go back and play those at some point. But have you played, or are you interested in any of the Harry Potter games?
No, I've seen them, and I've heard some good things about them, but I never played them.
Isn't there one that's like an MMORPG or some kind of open world deal? I can't remember what it's called, but there's a newer Harry Potter game that had some kind of buzz
Yes,
around
there
it.
is. It was not too long ago, actually.
Wow.
Well, everything post-COVID, honestly,
That'd
has
be
been
interesting.
a blur. But
That seems like something you might be interested in, kind of similar to the
I think it was called Legacy.
yeah, but like a Disney Dreamlight Valley. Is it like that, or is it?
I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but it's intriguing, and I think I want to play it too.
Yeah. All right, so we already kind of talked about the format. Starting next week, we're gonna get into Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone as we know it, and we're just gonna read the first chapter and watch a little bit of the movie, and come back and talk about it. And the first chapter of Sorcerer's Stone is called "The Boy Who Lived."
Exciting.
So, did you want to plug anything, like your Instagram? You have an Instagram where you have some of your cool art. You did. You were doing this deal for a while where every day you had like a cat picture with a prompt, and that was cool. And you've just been, you're just really passionate about your art. So, do you remember what how people can find you, or just put it in the description or whatever?
Yeah. It's Small Life Town, and I'll write down exactly where you can find it in the description.
All right. Well, that's all for this week, and we will be back shortly to start talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Oh, house.